In life, certain things don't mix well together. Oil and water, toothpaste and orange juice, roadhead on a roller coaster, a knee brace and doggy style, and of course, movie licenses and retro video games. But the geniuses over at Konami always had a few aces up their sleeve and would sometimes find a way of going above and beyond when it came to some of their licensed games. And Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo is no exception. Growing up in the late 80s and the early 90s, Tim Burton's Batman movies were huge. I mean huge. Like Mike and Molly Season 2 huge. This shit was everywhere. On book bags, lunch boxes, the Batman animated series, which is probably the best cartoon of all time, toys, and of course, video games. I will say, Batman has had an amazing showing of video games throughout the years, including these bad boys. These games are epic, but the retro scene is just as strong. Batman on the NES, Batman on the Genesis, the impossible yet insanely fun adventures of Batman and Robin on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, let's skip this one for now. That's for another video. And of course, Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo. If there was any question as to whether or not Batman Returns was a Christmas movie, it may have been answered by Konami's intro screen. I mean, seriously, have you ever seen the snow effect on a Konami intro screen before? Call me old school, but man, simple shit like this was always awesome to see in a 16-bit video game. Back when this game was released, seeing these cutscenes was like watching the Battle of Endor on the big screen. Alright, well, maybe not that epic, but you get what I'm trying to say. It was incredible. For a 16-bit game, the music, graphics, and just the overall Tim Burton-esque presentation was unmatched for a 16-bit beat-em-up game back in the day. I mean, look at this. Look at the artwork, the animation, the satisfying punching sound effects, huge characters. It's so underrated for its time. Like my wife watching me play chess on my phone, this game is dripping with detail. I can't even describe how good it feels to punch these clowns. And to throw them down on the ground, through a glass window, through a park bench, phew, talk about satisfying and therapeutic. And the headbutt of the two enemies? God, it's like the first time you tried pumpkin pie at your grandma's house. It never gets old. As you can tell, it doesn't take the greatest detective in the world to realize that this game has it where it counts. It's fun as hell. I have a long history of playing beat-em-ups in the arcade, NES, Sega Genesis, you name it, and I'm still playing them to this day, so trust my opinion when I say this game is an amazing beat-em-up. One of the things that I love about this game is its music and the fact that it follows the movie very closely. Like, look at this for example. Just like in the movie, this is how you defeat the guy that's holding the taser next to Selena Kyle. Awesome. Love those details. Like I said before, the presentation is on par with Tim Burton's vision, and Danny Elfman's musical score is represented masterfully on the Super Nintendo sound chip. Even the cutscenes have word-to-word dialogue from the movie. It's just a great work of art on a 16-bit cartridge. Armed with your mitts, your grappling hook, batarangs for unique enemies, test tubes, aka screen-clearing bombs, you have plenty of options to kick ass throughout the game. With any 8 or 16-bit beat-em-up, the game eventually slightly becomes repetitive after a few levels, but it does switch it up with some platforming areas, and of course, the visually awesome Batmobile stage. Regardless, the game does a great job of keeping you engaged and wanting more as you clear each of the 7 stages, knowing that you're getting close to the end due to your knowledge of the movie's plot. Overall, this game is a forgotten gem in the beat-em-up genre. It's no Turtles in Time or Streets of Rage 2, but it's not too far off from them as you would think. Like the kid with the nut allergy playing chess on his TI-83 calculator at the lunch table, this game does not get the respect that it deserves. Even today, no one really talks about this amazing beat-em-up. Why is that though? Was it just forgotten about? Was it overshadowed by Turtles in Time and other Konami greats? Or maybe people just assumed that it was another cookie-cutter movie license game that brought nothing to the table. Regardless, this game needs to be recognized for its greatness. As of the timing of this video in 2024, this game goes for about $20 or $25 for a loose card depending on the label condition, so it's a great game to add to your physical collection. You won't be disappointed. I love popping this game in from time to time, and I always have a blast playing it. Like I said, it's no Turtles in Time, but it's amazing. And let's face it, this game, Cleveland Steamers the Genesis game any day of the week. If you're a fan of the beat-em-up genre or a fan of Batman games in general, you need to play this and stop the Penguin and the Red Triangle Gang from kidnapping all the firstborn sons of Gotham City. You won't be disappointed.